Hello, my name is Chris Dale, and this is my Google site for Principles of Teaching, Learning, and Assessment in the Inclusive Secondary Classroom. On this website, you will find a variety of assignments and assessments and classroom materials that I developed for teaching a Photoshop class while I was learning about how to teach students in a more fair, just, and equitable manner. In posts 1 and 2, you will find detailed a variety of different strategies for managing the classroom. In post 3, you will be able to find a unit design worksheet that will give you a variety of different strategies and ideas for teaching a Photoshop class. From there, we can see a standards wall and a TIP chart that is useful in teaching a Photoshop class. As it will show you down here, you can see that there is a variety of different walk-through materials that are available for being printed out. The lesson plan here goes on to detail how you're able to introduce students to some new concepts in Photoshop. Post 6 is outlining the assessment for students to show that they have indeed learned about Photoshop over the course of the lesson. In posts 7 and 8, you will find lesson plan 2 and 3, which are both surrounding a theoretical assignment that would have lasted students the entire semester. The assignment was for students to come up with a project that utilizes their own interests and involves some aspect of technology and how it intersects with interests of humanity, culture, or society in some way. These students will have, over the semester, come up with an initial assessment of the topic, and then a methodology with which they are able to share that topic with their classmates before they went on to produce in Photoshop a variety of different images which are going to be useful for them. That is detailed in lesson plan 2. The project goes on to create a presentation or a game or some sort of interactive feature that allows people to learn about that in part 4. In part 5, the student would produce an assessment of some sort that would either be integrated into the product they produced or would be a thing that is presented afterwards throughout the time that the people are viewing the project. The student would then, in part 6, be presenting that and utilizing that assessment. And then finally, in part 7, which is detailed in lesson plan 3, the student will be utilizing all of the previously gathered and created data and projects in a report, which will be analyzing their own beliefs, the beliefs of the people that they presented to, and any other sorts of data which they would have collected with their project. That data, those questions that they would have asked the people to collect that information, would have been determined earlier in the semester while they were planning out their project as a whole. The material for this project is available on a Google Drive here, and for lesson plan 2, it is also available on a Google Drive here. Here in lesson plan 2, linked on this Google Drive page here, you can find these two documents, the long-term project chart. This long-term project chart, as visible here, has details about each of the different pieces of the long-term project. At the bottom of this document, on the 3rd page, you're able to find a color-coded representation of how the standards apply to the various parts of the long-term project. Also available in lesson plan 2, you'll be able to find the homework assignment and the in-class assignment, the comparison matrix, and the homework handout sheet. As you can see here, the homework handout sheet is having students watch a rather long video, but is very interesting, and will educate them about how and when they should be using various pieces of other people's copyrighted work. Over here, students will be working in class to learn about how it is best to do non-destructive editing, which means to perform editing on a digital image without losing any of the data while doing that editing. It will allow you to most easily go back and correct your mistakes. Thank you for watching my screencast of my Google site that I created for my digital literacy and computer science lessons, which focuses on helping middle and high school students master technology standards. I hope you now have a better understanding of the scope of the lessons, as well as the major assessments that are part of the lessons, the strategies for introducing the lessons, the instructional practices for helping students acquire and integrate new learning, and a description of my instructional practices for helping students practice, review, and apply their learning.